Pretty terrific.
Jeff, can I hijack you just for 1 minute?
Sure.
On Tuesday, this fantastically talented trio played those two movements at noontime concerts. Some of you may know about that. We do concerts every Tuesday at Old St Mary's. Now, if you, as I'm sure you will, want to hear that again, you'll be able to hear it on our website, noontimeconcerts.org, and also on YouTube. So I'm Peter Suskin, and I'm the artistic administrator, and I just wanted to let you know that you can hear that again as often as you like.
Indeed.
It was wonderfully played, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. And if I hadn't mentioned already, this first movement again on Sunday as well. So you'll have 2 chances: Sunday live, and then, as Peter mentioned, on the Noontime website. Beautiful. All right. Essentially, you have everything that I wouldn't, or I think most other people wouldn't be able to teach you. So now the only things that are left are things that are very teachable. So that's good news. For you to play this piece this well at this stage in your lives, and really for the first time, I mean, you played it for the first time the other day, I think. Performed it for the first time the other day. It's extraordinary. And your experience as an ensemble really allows you to do so many things that a lot of professional groups have to work very, very hard to get to do. And you've worked so hard, but now it feels like it's just natural for you. This is all great. The things that I'd like to work with you on in this piece have to do with the architecture, the pacing, and just some general conceptual things that I've learned after playing it. I probably played this piece as much, if not more, than any other trio over the years. And I learned a lot of things the hard way. So if there's any way I can help you avoid some of that suffering, I'd love to do that. For the audience, does anyone know what time signature this first movement is in? Yes?
8/8.
It's in 8/8, exactly right. And that very easily reduces down to a measure of 4. I mean, 8/8 notes is a measure of 4, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So why does it sound like this? Im pa da 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 dum pa. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, first of all, you notice that that is a symmetrical bar. 3, 2, 3. So every measure kind of cycles upon itself. And it creates a feeling of really circular time. When I'm listening to this theme, I'm not thinking, where is this going? How is this developing? I'm feeling there's something chant-like. And I don't know the origins, the edition that I'm working on has some theories about quotes that he's using in this style. I think it has something to do with a folk tradition in the Basque Country that probably would have been so in their bones that it was automatic. You know, you have certain things you do that are automatic, right? You brush your teeth, you make coffee, whatever the things are that you can do in your sleep. My feeling is that for as absolutely magnificent and special as this opening is, I'm not sure it's personal. I think it's communal. I think it's a kind of chant. I think it's something that is almost unconscious. Ya da 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 dum ba, dee da 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 dum ba, dee da 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 dee dum ba, dee da da da. You see what I mean? And whenever I played it, I always felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders when I opened this trio. The voicing has to be perfect. It can't be too fast. It can't be too slow. It can't be too loud. I can't use too much pedal. Are you thinking any of those things? Yeah, exactly. Could we try and take some of the weight off of your shoulders there, Sarah, and with this idea that it's not personal. It's a group, and pretend the group has been singing for a long time, but you just happen to wander over to the point where you could hear them. Good. Before we go on, I just want to work with the opening solo just a little bit. I'm going to suggest that the articulation is not timing. as I might read it in another composer. Ravel is essentially not a rubato composer. I'm just going to make a little label there. And you can find a million places now to prove me wrong. But I think he is essentially a very unsentimental composer. And his articulation here might suggest something in terms of the stress. It could be light, like less, more, da-da-da-dum-ba. But I'm not sure that it implies anything with the timing. And the other thing I just want to say, it's a great challenge for pianists. We play what we perceive as chords. Right? You're playing 3 voices in your right hand. We experience that as a chord. Could you just play the opening for us one more time? Just the right hand, actually. Exactly. And would you mind, I'm going to put you on the spot, would you mind playing us each voice one at a time? Good. Good. Well, that's an interesting one. Can you play them now, combine them in pairs, 2 at a time? Well, that's fascinating. I'm not sure I've ever heard that. And the reason I've never heard it is because it's so difficult to voice a chord as a pianist. So I would encourage you to think less about playing chords here. Think about playing 3 musical voices. Imagine that one human being was playing each one of those parts. And actually, as an experiment, we're going to do the same game as we did before. You can use 2 hands to play your right hand, and I'm going to play your left hand for you. Okay? Much easier, right? But you see how also, this is incredible. What Ravel writes in the left hand here sounds like offbeats. It sounds syncopated. They're on the beat. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. But they register because of this 3, 2, 3 as syncopations. Okay, let's try the whole thing now and then keep going with your colleagues here. Same thing, strings coming up. Yes, yeah, sorry. You are much too fine a group to need that little start. You don't need a start. You seamlessly follow Sarah's left hand into the downbeat. You don't need to cue us in terms that you're about to play. Could you just do the last measure of your solo? Solo. Piano. Okay, excellent, excellent, amazing, beautiful, of course. It's like perfectly in tune and well balanced and all that stuff. It's, to me, it runs the risk of sounding, Elliott and Eunseo, almost a little bit Hollywood. You play it so well, but it's pianissimo. And it sounds like you want to win the job with your opening solo. It's like, you're hired, you're great, we love you. Can you trust the opening a little bit more, though, and let it unfold so that you're not selling us anything at the beginning? You're really holding us in this kind of mystery. Maybe we could voice a little bit more to the cello in the unison. How about just where everybody plays for the first time? Good. Now, I want to point to something that I think is possibly a little bit of a trap. When you do have something very expressive, you're liable to fragment the motive. You played that magnificently, by the way. I thought that was a very compelling opening to the piece. And you want to give the listener a lot of time to see this landscape that's unfolding rather than a collection of solos. When you go in, you have the hairpin, it goes to the very exotic kind of harmony, and you take a little time, that's great. Just make sure that you float right out of that, like it never happened. My teacher used to say with Ravel, with French music in general, but especially Ravel, that it's fully felt, partially expressed. Right? So it means that as much as I love you guys, I'm going to hold myself together in this masterclass and not just gush over it. I'm actually going to keep some of that to myself, right? Even though you know that's how I feel, right? And you can tell this music has that. This music has this feeling that is threatening to burst out of its cage. And there's a couple points where it almost does. We'll talk about that. But even in this opening, do you see what I mean? There's this highly concentrated sentiment that won't allow itself to just, won't. It's in a little bit of a cage. And that's Ravel. How about rehearsal 1, measure 9? And Sarah, I think it sounds beautiful. I think still soften the hand, but don't, it doesn't need to be. I'm exaggerating. So at number 1, extremely well played. I noticed there are some differences, though. He's doing something with like antecedent, consequent kind of phrases, so that in the piano part he double stems 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then nothing. And Elliott, I think the same thing. Do a little bit more with that. Basically, it's very good. At number 2, Sarah, I think you could start a little drier. Because that's what it sounds like when they play. They can't do. Most important, though, here's where we come to our first. The monster is threatening to rear its ugly head. Go back. But you have to, just like in the Debussy here, that's a gong, right? That has to basically provide harmonic support for the whole trio. And that's why he writes the slur off the note. He wants that to continue. And for everybody, when you reach this fortissimo, because now we're at a slightly faster tempo, it's a philosophical question for you. When you have a highly motivic music that's using the same thing over and over and over again, do you bring that out, or do you trust that it's there? Do you know what I mean? Do you put a microscope on that, or do you say, oh, he's woven that into the structure of the piece, so I know the audience is going to get it by now, because we've heard dum ba da 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 quite a few times. My suggestion would be the latter. Trust that it's there. Play a large arc, because now it's embedded in our ear. Now we'll hear it even if you don't do it. Can we do number, the 144, measure 13? Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's rather loud, right? It feels, again, just a little ambitious. This is the wind is just picking up here. Up a step, up a step, up a step. Excellent. Sorry to stop. That was terrific. Now, another thing that you'll figure out the more you play this piece is that there are, tens of thousands of notes, and actually the harmony changes not that often. So if you look at from number 2 over C sharp. In jazz, the 2-5-1 progression is like a gospel. I mean, it's like people practice 2-5-1s till 4 in the morning in all the different keys, and it's just something that they do. They build a harmonic vocabulary. This piece has a shocking number of 2-5-1 progressions. But it's so difficult and complex. There's so much that's built on top of that it's really easy to overlook it. So you can do a whole rehearsal on this piece where you only look at how often the bass changes. And I'll just mention, for the audience, but maybe for you too, if you find it interesting, the great scholar Roy Howitt talked about how in a lot of German Romanticism, chromatic harmony revolved around the motion of the bass. The bass moves up or down chromatically, the harmony has to accommodate it. You end up with a lot of chords that don't make any functional sense but sound good. That's sort of like a Reader's Digest version of chromatic harmony. In non-Germanic music, again, painting with a very broad brush, but looking at French and Russian music from the period, you'll have long pedal points, and all the chromaticism happens on the inside, like this. Right? We had a C sharp for 8 measures or something with all kinds of crazy harmonies on top of it, but we've gone nowhere. And then it's a 2-5-1. Number 3. Let's keep going. Good. Now we're about to get to another pedal point. I need to hear just a little bit more. All that juicy stuff. This is your moment, Sarah. You've got sort of orchestral effects happening in the strings. One more time from the same place, if you don't mind. One, two, three, 1, 2. Bass. Similar thing here, guys. I'm not sure that the ritardando needs to go below the new tempo and then start again, because here's the next piece of this that I want to work on with you. It took me like a decade playing this piece to realize that basically what he's done, think of every little thematic section, okay, in the exposition. Every time those come back in the recap, they're slower. That's what all those slower than this and faster than that. That's what all those metronome markings essentially boil down to. The first statement of all the themes is a little bit faster. It's a little closer to the tempo of the opening. And then when it comes back in the recap, it's a little slower. So the proportions of your second theme here at number 4 match a recap tempo, right, in its slowness. If it were a different piece, I would take no issue with it. It sounds beautiful. But he says plus lent qu'au début, and it's 122. Well, what was the metronome mark for the opening? 132. It's practically the same tempo. Could we try it there at number 4, somewhere around that tempo? Good. Good. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You guys are terrific. So this sounds so much to me like the Mother Goose Suite that we heard on Tuesday in the concert that you played, right? It's like, what can a composer do with all white notes? It's more than you think. It sounds so beautiful. Now I want to talk for just a second about Ravel's kind of childlike imagination. And that's what I really feel here. There's some kind of both innocence but also grotesque quality in his imagination around childhood. And when you go to his house, I hope you will at some point, because it's an absolutely amazing composer house museum. It's really worth visiting. He has all these little toys, all these little puzzles and pop-up things and wind-up toys, and everything's very small. And often a lot of grotesque things as well. So by grotesque, I guess what I mean here is that it's deeply heartfelt. Imagine some forest creature or some animal that we don't traditionally think of as very cute. Like, I don't know, I can't think of a good example. But let's pretend we don't think a porcupine is very cute. Maybe they're adorable, I don't know. But something that sort of like doesn't belong in a picture, you know. Imagine this little porcupine confessing its love to some other creature. You know, so sincere, so expressive, so deeply felt. But there's something a little grotesque about that. Do you see what I mean? So it's not you here in the sense of I feel. It's like you're evoking this other world of childlike, it's very, very sweet and very deeply felt, and also there's something not quite normal about it. Can we try? And would you do, I'm sorry to ask you to do this, and so, but it proves the point really well. Can you play this melody with one finger? Okay, good. Thank you. You win the prize for best sport of the day. Now, you never have to do that again. But when you go back to playing it as written, can you make it sound like that in tension? So that there's no fingerings, right? There's no positions. It's just a line. And also, Sarah, could you play us your part here at number 4? Yeah, these bells, right? And there has to be enough sound that you can actually do. And see, even a celeste. Have you ever played a celeste? First of all, they take a lot more effort to play than you think. You kind of have to throw yourself at them, and then this little sound comes out. It's sort of demoralizing. But even a celeste, a very quiet celeste, has. See, it's not. So there has to be enough resonance here as well. You're playing very few notes. It's very high set, and Eunseo is playing this very exposed melody. there has to be enough in the orchestral kind of sonority that it doesn't feel like she's out on a limb. Mm-hmm. One more time with it. Let's go with everybody. Keep your tempo then. Warm. Now just a little slower. Take your time on the transition. That's right. It's all over E. Still E. Finally, we resolve here. A. Now, no time here. Just take the time you need. Impersonal, communal. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, what kind of modulation goes from here to something's wrong. We don't have tritone modulations without any preparation. But we didn't notice it because the strings have this. We've just, I think, walked through the looking glass. And now we're in uncharted territory. So we were in wherever we were, now we're somewhere very, very different. And I think this is where some of the, under the surface, kind of threatening things start to begin, okay? Because it looks really nice at first. Eunseo's part, right? This is very much like the, practically, don't you think? Like, wow, that sounds nice, you know? And then it's not what it seems. Let's try from number 7. Sarah, a little trick. When you have things under a slur in Ravel, be it here or in Godot, you can actually use a kind of finger articulation within the slur. So it's not anything like that. Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous. Eunseo, absolutely beautiful. Watch out for bow speed accents at the beginning of each of the slurs. And pianissimo très expressif. So again, imagine that you'd like to say everything that you feel about it, but you can't yet. You'll get there. Tempo. Now, Elliott, I think at number 7, you want to evoke this feeling of two completely different realities. There's a reality that has time, and there's a reality that has no time. We're just in this. And I think you can do as much as you like with these within pianissimo, but don't apologize for those wonderful harp-like kind of, there's so much richness in the piece. Keep in mind, too, that although Ravel's piano wouldn't have been wildly different from the modern piano, if you've ever played on a Gaveau or a Pleyel or an Erard, you know that you can't hide things the way you can on the modern piano. The modern piano has other difficulties, for sure. But we can get away with a lot of sort of buttery blending of sounds on a modern Steinway that they couldn't. So if he writes a lot of notes, you would have heard a lot of notes. Even if they were very quiet, they would have been very articulate as well. I think you can take a little bit more time before number 8. There's no hurry there. However, at number 8, then we need this. And yeah, this is where I wouldn't fragment the motive. Yum, ba, da, da, da. No, I don't think so. It starts swirling again. Can you take it from 66? No, 65, the last kind of the... No, you don't remember. This is fine. Let's go from, where you call it. We'll do number 8 again.
Okay.
Is that okay? Oh, no.
Number 7.
7, thank you. 7. Let it expire. Yeah. No, Sarah. I think Sarah has to lead that, right? Sarah has to lead that. I know you have a rolled chord, but you're essentially orchestral color there. So, maybe the grace note in the bass could be like a 16th or something. Just one before number 8. Take your time, Elliott. Left hand. Just stay there. Keep your left hand, Sarah. Listen to your left hand. And now we're going to fly to the moon very slowly. Take your time. Très long. Take your time. It should be a little painful. That's right. tempo. Take your time. Now take only the time you need. Still nothing interesting. Still a little threatening down there. Now keep your mezzo forte coming up here. Memory now. Don't do anything. Okay, no, there. Amazing. Amazing. Here, I feel you actually are unintentionally changing the rhythm a little bit, though. And I think you have to keep the stress very clear, whether it's tia or tia. Right? So don't take so much time on tia. Also, when we get there, watch out. You play the same chord here that you played here. Yeah. Good. Can we do 13 to the end? So this is beautiful, sir. When you use the soft pedal, this is just, it's very piano dependent, right? But there's a muted, almost like an offstage horn or trumpet or something like that. So it doesn't feel, it's not clouds. It's not this sort of effervescent. It's just far away. That's it. Now take your time and then go. Ba-bum, ba-bum, bum. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, ba, ba, ba. Good. Now, before we stop, don't think about anything. Play the opening. Go, 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 go. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, go, move, move, move. Yeah, it's amazing. Pedal point. That's right. This is your exposition tempo for this theme. Something held back. It's almost on the surface, but not quite. Just a little bit slower. Just trust it. Now, take us somewhere else. Quite a bit slower. shy. Far away, but concentrated. Just let it go. Piece is over. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Really, that was such a pleasure to work with you on this and to hear you again. It's really amazing, and you'll play this piece many, many times and in many different ways, and the way you're playing it now is already spectacularly beautiful. I think as you settle into the architecture, which I heard much more in this playthrough, you won't have to reinvent the wheel so much in this first movement, which is really nice. The piece will carry you a little bit more naturally. And then once you play the whole work, you'll start to feel even more the relative proportion of each of the movements. Because they're all so big that when you finish them, you feel like, oh, we did it. And then you're like, oh, there's 3 more movements, So you have to then step back and think about how each one, his famous line about this piece, right? I finished my trio, now all I need are the themes. You have to have, I think in Ravel, you have to have a heart of gold and ice in your veins at the same time. So that's the balance, right? It's absolutely music of just tremendous warmth and inspiration, and it also has this maniacally calculating strategy. And that's what really makes it the best of both for all of us. Okay, bravo, bravo, bravo.